speaker of the session, that is Dr. Ranjit Das. He is appointed as the assistant professor from Yenepoya Research Centre, Kolkata, India. He is a population and quantitative geneticist with interest in molecular evolution, phylogenetics, and biostatistics.
To do is thinking, because funding is an important thing, and so thinking. So it will be anthropogenic dynamics across Western Ghats. So we have collected several samples, saliva samples, lying in my lab. I don't actually have a lab, it's a cupboard. I don't do wet lab, so it's a cupboard, it's in the cupboard. So saliva samples of Koragas started working, others will work, depends on the funding. So little bit about Koraga. So I cannot read Kannada, but Dr. Vandem said that you should use the actual language. I hope the Koraga spelling is correct in this language. So I put Koraga. I hope it's correct. I cannot read. So this is the area where I come from. This is Mangalore. This is Manipal. So I am from Yenepoya University, which is in Mangalore, and I live in Manipal. I every day travel 85 kilometers up and down, because that will come about later. These Koragas are found in Udupi district and Mangalore district, Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka, as well as Kasaragod district in Kerala. These are Aboriginal tribe, and this photo is from Edgar Thurston's book. So before I go into my story, I will tell you the story of Dr. Mustaq's work. Dr. Mustaq and his team is working on the mitochondrial DNA study. It's not published. So the entire thing that I'm going to show is unpublished. So if possible, not to click much photos. Some photos are fine, some are not a little bit. Okay, so this is totally unpublished, and we are planning to publish it together in the course of time. So they worked on this hypervariable region of mitochondria, and they collected samples from Sopu, Kuntu, and Onti Koragas, and they have a sample size of 96. And their analysis revealed that their maternal root has high frequency of Western Eurasian lineage. Why that is special? It's not very common among Indian tribes, and they have these haplogroups which are really not that common. There are, I was talking to Dr. Neeraj Rai, there are some connection, ancient data connections that will come to later, but so this was uniquely found in Koragas, and they are rarely observed among these tribes. They also have India-specific lineages like M3, A1A and all. So this is what I want to show. These are the three clans that Dr. Mustaq and his team show. So I would like to point out this tribe. I'll come back to this tribe again. It's Kuntu Koraga. This clan actually has the highest frequency of E1A1A, which is West Eurasian specific lineage. So what I think is they have some sort of connection with this much observed in Anatolia, Europe and Near East. E1A was actually observed in Iran. E1A1, the subclade was observed somewhere here. If somebody who are not aware about Central East, this is the Horn of Africa that we are showing here. So they were found somewhere in Egypt, this haplogroup. So the main finding that was found from mitochondrial DNA was this was the most frequent group, followed by this West Eurasian specific group. This group also is not very frequent among Davidian lineage. So what it means is Koragas are really very different and very special. It shows like that. This Koraga individual shows, as I already mentioned, this U1A, and they have some sort of Western Eurasian ancestry. Now, Koragas are currently completely isolated from the population. They are very shy. They don't mix with others. And when we went to collect the samples, we have to take their leaders and all. You cannot directly interact with them. So it's not surprising that they are quite isolated from the rest. Now, this gave us the introduction of this population, and we are very happy when we got a letter from Koraga community that they want us to study them, and I was very happy. So we had a nice photo together. Everything was fine. We thought we will start collecting samples, and we will start. But it didn't happen. I got stuck in this ethical hearings. which went on and on and on for more than 1.5 years. So in India, those who are not from India, they will know that India average PhD time is 3 to 3.5 years. And I took a student, we got very happy. I showed her photo in last year. I thought she'll be done in 3 years. But almost 1.5 years was done for ethical clearance. Now she is done in 2 years behind. So whatever. So ultimately, ethical clearance came. Nice photo again. We went for collection. So we had our Koraga leaders with us. Koraga leaders gave a long list of participants. But when we went there, that list became reduced and further reduced, further reduced. So ultimately, we're supposed to have 50 people. Ultimately, we could collect around 38 samples. But sadly, Koragas are very used to chewing palm, and so the palm went to the saliva. We asked them not to eat or drink anything, but they did. So those DNAs had to be gone. And the problem is, if it were normal people, we would have gone back and asked them, okay, de lo bhaiya, thora aur sample de do. So, but the problem is, it's not true for Koraga, because we have to go back to ethics and take 1.5 years again. So, who takes the chance? Let's do it with the 29 samples. We are happy. For 29 samples, these are the basic information about that. Sadly, our Koraga leaders only permitted us to collect samples from Kuntu and Thappu. Thappu was not there in Dr. Mustaf's list. Okay. So again, these are the real life problems that we face. Yeah. So, oh my God, my administrator clock is not working. That's why I always want to use my Mac. When you convert Mac into Windows, something will happen. But what happened to him, I give them my presentation, and it happened actually, it's gone. So, believe me, there was color, and I can show you the colors. If you don't believe there was color, okay. What I want to show is these are different clusters, and I came in 21, which had the lowest CBE. Koraga had their own cluster somewhere here. So, so Koraga cluster was different color. The color is not, just imagine there is a color. Koraga has a color. Okay. So Koraga has a distinct color, so this has a different cluster. Okay. And it matches with Dr. Mustaf's finding that Koraga does make a different cluster when you compare to the Indian group. So, all good. Okay. So now, but when I did PCA with all Indian samples, South Asian samples, there was no cluster actually. Koragas were somewhere in the middle. So, yeah. So, when I think Dr. Luca showed a PCA plot of India, there was some gap. Now there is no gap. The gap, sorry. So, what happened is the gap is filled because I have these all Indian samples. And if you look at these are the so-called ASI, strong ASIs. I don't know how to use it. So the ANIs. These are ANIs. I don't believe in that classification distinctly, but anyways, these are ANIs. Then ANI client goes down. ASI. These are tribal groups, Austroasiatic. So Koragas belong here, right there in the ASI cluster. Two Koragas, which are Kuntu Koragas, over here. They have connection with this ANI. They're close to ANIs. Only two Kuntu Koragas. Remember, we have only 9 Kuntu Koragas. We are running out of samples anyway, so but there is some connection which shows that we have some North Indian connection. When we read this drift tree, thankfully it has color, but very small, but anyways. So I don't know if you can read it. This is Koraga. The closest population, Indian population that Koraga has connection is also, but the distance is quite long. This is quite long. This is over. But Handiguru. This Handiguru are the tribe from Western Ghats. So they are very restricted, so makes sense. But also the grid parameter is quite long here, so maybe the isolation was quite long back. Now the most interesting part, here comes the West Eurasia story. So I modeled this QP-ADM model with this Koraga with Onche and Indus periphery 15 minutes. Okay. So they have this in Indus periphery and Onche together, and then herd population had changed with different populations. I found the herd population, herd source, to be highest among Iranian, followed by Shia Iranians of Hyderabad. So they have some sort of Middle Eastern connection which matches with what Dr. Mustaf showed. So that's what it is. They have it matches the mitochondrial DNA story. There is some correction, and as I always believe, any research is incomplete without the story. So the story is over here. So not much known about Koragas, but one person in Koraga is known called Hubashika. Hubashika was a Koraga leader, Koraga chief leader, and he used to be called a Chandal. What the Chandal means is a Brahmin mother with a Shudra father. So Shudra most likely is a tribal group, but Brahmin mother is a question. It may be some sort of white-skinned or light-skinned lady which may be coming from West Asia, possible. So why they give us what? Because Koraga population is rapidly declining, and they came to the newspaper. So what we found is, as expected, they have a high consanguinity going on, and the consanguinity level, those who are from those animal or tigers, you will know, their IVD share is very similar to Rantham or tigers. Anybody who works with tigers? We work on one tiger. If we have they are very much invariant. Okay. So we tried to find the ROH segments, and from the ROH segments we sorted down 33 genes which are possibly under selection, and these genes are possibly these genes came from these are actually more dangerous or damage causing genes. I'm not going to read the list, but there are many syndromes associated with it. Many of them are associated with anemia. Okay, and they are anemic. The population is anemic. And yes, we also looked at the multifactorial disorders. And the interesting thing is what we found is, unlike we generally do this commonly with this multifactorial disorder genome profiling for normal people, what is different for this Koraga is they have high propensity towards nicotine dependence and alcoholism. Compared to that, hypertension, which is common among this normal healthy populations or urban populations in this area, that's not a problem for them. So other ongoing projects in my lab, we are doing this. This is one of my very favorite projects that is going on with COVID-19 post-genetics from a PASC point of view. PASC means long COVID versus not long COVID. You're going to know more about it. My student is doing a poster about it. And then we have this somatic and germline mutations. We are also doing pharmacogenomic project and so-called Ayur genomics, where I'm collaborating with the Ayurveda people and find out whether this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, this concept is actually valid and any connection with disease morphology. This is my lab. I'm very thankful for Yenepoya for the seed grant, which is good, which is life-saving. And these are my current students, my past students. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lord. Thank you very much. You are in time. Any observations, please?
I'm a mask man. Like Spider-Man, Superman, mask man.
Any observations? Yes.
How do you accommodate all your lab in your
I don't have an answer. So what happens is we do this genotyping basically, which we outsource, and then we do data analysis. We have computers.
Hello. Yeah. So my interest is regarding the U1 haplogroup, mitochondrial U1 haplogroup. I went through a lot of, because this is my favorite topic as well. So I have done some analysis with Mustaq sir. So surprisingly, the percentage of U1 is very high, and it is more than 50%. If you 51%, yeah. So the other population which has a similar percentage is recently I came to know that it is in the Dagestani population in the Caucasus region.
That is why I already requested Dr. Vigas to give
Yes.
us some initial DNA samples.
Yes, it would
He
be.
said I can write to him and
It would be very interesting to know, because I consider this Koraga population as kind of an ancient genome, which it is kind of a living ancient genome. So it would be very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Das, for taking us through the amazing journey of identifying the ancestry of the Koraga tribes in the most relatable way possible. I will now call upon stage Professor Radha ma'am to award the memento as the token of appreciation.